My coverage of CES 2019 is brought to you by Corsair, Enermax, Deepcool, and Cooler Master. If you can't tell by the massive ROG logo, I am now at the Asus suite. I'm going to start off by showing you guys this massive wall of sort of disassembled laptops. This is the ROG Mothership GZ700, and this is actually a crazy new gaming laptop that Asus has been working on for quite some time, and I wanted to show you the parts of it first because it's made of a CNC milled piece of aluminum. This is the monitor actually itself, and then there's a keyboard piece, so it opens up like no laptop you've ever seen before. It's got a little kickstand that pops out the back, and then you pull the keyboard off the front, and you can lay the keyboard down in front, and then you can also detach the keyboard and fold it in half and use it as a wireless keyboard. So over there you have the front of the mothership. Over here you have the back of the mothership. You can see the massive cooling array they've done with the heat pipes feeding over to the CPU and GPU. They created a specialized heat spreader for the SSD, and overall this is just sort of a unique laptop that I've never really seen anything like it before. So apart from the flexible setup with the movable keyboard, wireless factor and everything, of course you can also plug in your own keyboard like with any laptop. This is going to have an 8th generation Intel Core i9 processor in it. It's not specified which one, and a GeForce RTX 2080. The display itself is a 17.3-inch, 144 Hz Full HD or 1080 display. It's listed as IPS level, which I imagine means it's got pretty decent color depth, and it covers 80% of the DCI-P3 color gamut. As for memory, you can have up to 64 gigs of DDR4. You can have up to 3 PCI Express storage devices, 512 gigs each, and they've done some crazy work with Intel to make sure that 2 of those have direct connectivity to the CPU, and the 3rd goes through the PCH. That means you're actually getting crazy read and write speeds on your RAID array here too. Next up we have Joe for scale. This is the ROG Strix XG438Q. Asus always has very catchy names for their monitors, but it's a 43-inch gaming monitor that they've been working on. 3840 by 2160, so 4K resolution, as well as 120 Hz refresh rate. This one supports AMD FreeSync 2. It's actually compliant with the Display HDR 600 standard and features Asus Sonic Master technology. Delivers incredible audio fidelity through 2 built-in 10-watt speakers. To connect it, you have DisplayPort HDMI and USB 3.0, as well as a headphone jack. It's a massive monitor, and we don't know when it's going to launch. They said they're aiming for Q2. We also have no idea how much this is going to cost yet. Austin Evans. Austin, can you come over? Okay. Wait, we're doing our first.
This is the first official CES hug.
CES hug for Austin Evans. Guys, everyone go subscribe to Austin's YouTube channel.
Why would you do that? That's a bad idea.
I don't know.
Just stay right here. Keep it locked for all the hottest, the latest, the greatest.
This is a sizzle reel right here. I don't even know.
I'm just going to just awkwardly stare at the camera and just until, it gets weird.
I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, I am too, actually.
You had dinner yet?
Just like smash cut to eating nachos.
I want nachos. Here's another laptop. This is actually an Asus Car as far as the body goes, so that's been out for a while. The thing we're actually looking at here is the display, and the display is just showing the display settings panel, so it's not all that exciting to look at. The point is, it's a 240 Hz display on a laptop, 1920 by 1080, so it's a resolution that you could actually push a higher frame rate at, and Asus just wanted to let us know they have this. They're integrating it into laptops, and they're probably going to be integrating it into more laptops. They're planning to do a few different tiers, 240 Hz as well as 180 Hz, so you'll have a range depending on your preference, and I'm imagining also price difference. But there you go. If you're excited about high frame rate gaming on a laptop, Asus is probably going to have you covered pretty soon. We've moved over to the components side where it's actually not set up yet. We're here pretty early, but I wanted to actually pick this motherboard up for the first time. This is the ROG Dominus Extreme. This is the new motherboard for Intel's LGA 3647 socket. Intel's got the 28 core, 56 thread CPU that supposedly exists. It actually exists now? Could I buy it? Could I buy it at retail right now? Probably not. Anyway, there's supposed to be a crazy high-end CPU from Intel that goes in here, which they launched at the end of 2018, but this is the motherboard for it. So Intel supplying the CPU aside, this motherboard's absolutely insane, and I have seen it before a couple times. I wanted to actually pick it up because it probably weighs a good 20 pounds, I'm gonna say, but Nick, fortunately, was able to give us a quick rundown on what this thing's actually sporting.
All right, so this is our new ROG Dominus Extreme motherboard for LGA 3647 socket. You can see it's a really heavy construction. It's got some really serious heat sinks. It's got a true 16-phase power design. You can see the 3 different CPU power inputs at the top here. On the outside of the RAM slots, we have additional space for NVMe SSDs through the DIMM.2 socket. So that's a card that we provide that you can add in 2 more NVMe SSDs per slot, and they do get cooled with the heat heatsinks. We have the 4-way spacing on the PCIe slots supporting SLI and Crossfire, as well as all the other goodies that you would expect, including a screen on the top of the IO shield cover here, which we call our Live Dash panel, which is customizable OLED screen. And then you get your 10G internet, you got a regular Intel 1G NIC, and then you have basically all the USB connectivity that you would want on top of that.
All the USB.
Yeah.
So I get very excited about crazy overbuilt stuff like this. We still have no word on when this will be available to like just go and buy. I did ask how much this would cost when it's available, and the answer unofficially is more than you could ever imagine a motherboard costing, but that it would definitely be worth it. So I'll need at least 3 of these. And lastly, over here in the corner is the best 2080 Ti that Asus is planning on making. This is the Matrix. It's currently lit up and nice and pretty right now. I'm just going to raw dog it and pull out of the slot. So here it is, triple slot card. They are binning the GPUs that are going in here. So top 5% in terms of performance and overclockability when it comes to the GTX 2080 Ti GPU that goes in there. They got a nice solid backplate on here. They have RGB lighting, of course. And then this has hybrid cooling. In fact, everything is integrated beneath this shroud here. It's air cooled, and there is an all-in-one liquid cooler in here. In fact, the radiator, you can kind of see if you look at it from the side, extends along this cooling unit right here. You can look at it and see some of the tubing for the pumps. So the pump's right there, has copper contacts with the GPU itself. You can kind of see up along here. And according to Asus, this is going to perform in the same ballpark range as like an all-in-one 240mm cooler attached to your graphics card. But it's all here in one unit with the triple slot card. So that's a really cool design overall. It's got gray going on. It's got some reflective areas there too. And then of course, it does light up when you actually have it plugged in. Oh, and this mirror part at the top has the ROG logo with kind of a 3D effect, so you can look down into it almost forever. But guys, that is going to wrap it up for my first video here actually in Las Vegas for CES 2019. I of course want to say a big thank you to my sponsors, Cooler Master, Corsair, Deepcool, and Enermax. Stay tuned because I have a ton more coverage coming at you guys, so hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll make a playlist too and link that in the description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.